Before that, I'm asking for forgiveness to the Sangha.
Sorry.
Okas vandami bhante dwaratyenang mayang katang sabbang aparadhang khamatu me bhante dutiyam pi okas vandami bhante dwaratyenang mayang katang sabbang aparadhang khamatu me bhante tatiyam pi okas vandami bhante द्वारतयेनं मयं कतं सब्बं अपराधं खमतु मे भन्ते ओकाहं भन्ते तिसरनेनं सह पञ्चशीलं धम्मं याचामि अनुगहं कत्वा शीलं देथ मे भन्ते द्वितीयं पि ओकासहं भन्ते तिसरनेनं सह पञ्चशीलं धम्मं याचामि अनुगहं कत्वा शीलं देथ मे भन्ते तृतीयं पि ओकासहं भन्ते तिसरनेनं सह पञ्चशीलं धम्मं याचामि अनुगहं कत्वा शीलं देथ मे भन्ते
Yamavada Mitavadeta
Am bhante.
Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami
Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dudiyambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dudiyambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Dudiyambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dadiyambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dadiyambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Dadiyambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tisarana Gahanam Paripurnam.
Am bhante.
Can you recite? Vanadipata?
Yes, bhante. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami kame sumichhachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Sura meraya majjapamadhathana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami
Tisaranena Sapanchani Chakru Dhamma Silam Sarukang Katva Apamadena Sampadetha.
Am bhante sadhu
Sadhu.
sadhu.
Any procedure?
From my Chitta Viveka Meditations group. I am requesting you for the Dhamma Desana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So today, the announcement is about right path. When we talk about the right path, we have to also talk about the Eightfold Path. It will take time to explain all the Eightfold Path within one hour. It's really too short for me. Anyway, if necessary, there will be next Dhamma talk, right? Then I will try the Eightfold Path, maybe a little bit more in detail. So when the Buddha explains in the first discourse, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha also explained wrong ways, wrong methods. So there are two extreme ways that are not useful for the development. The first one is Attakila Yoga, self-indulgence in sensual pleasure. So that one will be just for ordinary people. By following all these things or by enjoying sensual pleasure too much, we cannot improve our spiritual power and mental quality. That is really very important. So the second one is self-torment or self-torturing or self-mortification. Attakila Yoga. There are many ways to subside our defilements. Then people use many different methods to subside or to remove or eradicate the defilements. But if we use wrong methods, we can temporarily overcome the defilements. We cannot uproot the defilements. That is why the Buddha also talk about it. If we practice self-torturing, it's just for suffering. Also, it cannot lead to noble foods. As we have known that the Buddha explained the middle way or the middle path. This is called Noble Eightfold Path. Then the first thing we have to know is we have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path systematically in order that we may be able to uproot the defilements. So the Buddha explained two extreme ways. We can also say two wrong ways. And we have middle way. We can also say the Noble Eightfold Path. So when we are going to talk about the Noble Eightfold Path, we also have to talk about three trainings, because the Noble Eightfold Path cover the three trainings. So the first things, the first path is right understanding, samadhi. Also, right thoughts, sammasankappa. These two are wisdom training. Then samavaca, right speech, sammakamanta, right actions, and sammajiva, right livelihoods. These three are morality training. The last three, sammavayama, right efforts, samasthiti, right mindfulness, and samadhi, right concentrations. These three are concentration trainings or mental trainings. So we have to approach the Noble Eightfold Path group by group. So first of all, I have to start with right view or right understanding. So when we are going to talk about right view, we also have to know the wrong view first. If we know the wrong view, we must avoid. Of course, sometimes we have a lot of thinking, a lot of analyzing. We all have wrong view from time to time, according to our own experiences, or listening to many different things, reading many books. We get many different view on our life, or our lifetimes, or our environment. But anyway, the truth is the truth all the time. So among the wrong view, we have very, very serious wrong view called ahituka ditthi, causeless view. Causeless means everything will arise causelessly, no conditions. In Buddhism, we accept cause and effect relationship. But in this wrong view, no causes. Everything will arise naturally. This is called ahituka ditthi. Then we also have to know about the practice. If we think that there is no cause, no effect. Okay, for example, the morality is also not the cause for concentration. Concentration will arise without any cause, which means we don't need to practice, right? We don't need to follow sila. Panya will arise causelessly without any cause. That means we don't need to practice. It will arise naturally. Ahituka. So not only that, there are many other things such as we cannot stop our wrong deeds or wrong actions. We cannot stop our life cycle, that means samsara. No cause to stop samsara. In Buddhism, we accept if we practice well, we can stop. We can make endless suffering. So if we think about ahituka ditthi, causeless wrong view. So the karma, right, can change the people. People cannot change the karma. That means, so we have many different karma, right? Our karma can change. It will arise naturally. We will rely on our karma, past karma. Everything is according to the past karma, past karma. Actually, people complain like that. But in reality, all the past karmas are waiting for present actions. If this is true, there can be good and bad results. For example, although we have very, very bad karma in the past, if we have good actions in the present moment, all the past bad karma become weaker. Similarly, if we have many, many good karmas in the past, but in the present, we have a lot of bad karmas. We have accumulated many, many bad karmas in this present life. All the good karma in the past will become weaker in the present. So according to ahituka ditthi, karma is a fixed, unchangeable. It will arise naturally. We cannot stop, we cannot change. In Buddhism, it's possible to change. For example, Angulimala, he kills many people, but he attained arhatship. he had to accept some suffering in this very life because many people throw stones at him, something like that. He had some injury, only minor suffering. He had to accept in this very life. After attaining headship, when he passed away, he cannot be reborn in the head anymore because his karma is changed by his past and future knowledge. So in Buddhism, we can change our karma. If we are doing good, we can change our future. Everything that comes from our own actions. How we survive, how we act, how we speak, how we think. So in the case of ahituka ditthi, so that means we cannot stop our life cycle. We cannot stop anything. It will arise naturally. But now, we can also understand another way. We cannot change our karma, right? So we people cannot change the karma, but karma will give us a result anytime. So briefly, if we have ahituka ditthi, this is a wrong view. We have cause and effect relationship. All the good things in the past is also changeable. All the bad things in the past also changeable. It depends on our present action. Okay, this is one thing we have to know. So, okay, one more thing. If we have this kind of wrong view, everything will happen naturally. That means we will follow our desire too much. Everybody knows that life is short, right? We have many enjoyable things. So we have to enjoy everything. We can enjoy whatever thing we like. We don't need to think about anything because we're going to change karma. We are free. So that means we don't need to practice to change our future. We don't need to follow many different rules and regulations to undertake the precepts. We don't need to meditate. We don't need to know anything. Just live simply, live freely. So it will be very similar to animal. So we have to train ourselves to get better life. And in modern society, it's very, very clear. So if we have good speech and good communications, we can earn more, we can earn more, we can earn well. I think many of you are businessmen or business lady, right? You may know more than me. So now, even in the in the company, when you have to apply for job, for example, you may need many different qualifications such as social skill, interpersonal skill, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, many things. All the things are created by ourselves. We have to train ourselves to have all this quality, all this ability, in order that we can earn money. Similarly, in Buddha's teaching, we have to make ourselves brighter and better. We cannot make it. Life is meaningless. That's why if we have ahituka ditthi, causeless view, that means we cannot change anything, then we cannot improve ourselves anymore. Everything will be according to karma. It's not karma actually. We have to do ourselves. Right? Karma is a creator, Buddha also say, but not all the time past karma. We also need present actions. I think you may have read Hitopadesa, and this is the Hindi booklet maybe. Hitopadesa or Panchadandara, maybe you may have read this kind of books. I think it's from Hindi maybe. Hindi or Sanskrit, I'm not sure. Okay. In Hitopadesa, we have one saying. This is not Buddha saying, Hitopadesa, right? There's for example, like a sleeping lion. No deer will come to sleeping lion. The lion also have to chase or hunt, have to hunt to get food. According to his past karma, there are many deer around him. If it was sleeping, no deer will come to his mouth, his mouth hand. Although it also mentioned another simile in Hidobodhisa. It mentioned sesame seeds, We have God's sesame. According to our past karma, we have God's, a lot of sesames. But if we don't make wine, we're gonna get wine. It will remain sesame. That's why we need present actions in order that our past karma will give its result well. Then we can change our past with present. Okay, now with this the first one. Second one is akiriya ditti. Akiriya means not doing. So that means good and bad. There's no good things, no bad things. The good and bad things are determined by people. Right? It depends on the community we live. So that means in the good community, they may have some standards of good things, good actions. In the bad community, they have their own standards. For example, gambler will praise gambler. This is normal. This is their standards. Similarly, drunkard will praise drunkard. This is their standards. This is the moral standards. So in this case, akiriya means good and bad things are determined by people. It's not always truth, right? So it depends on the area, the environment we live. But in reality, good things are blameless. After doing many good things, we cannot regret. It will be helpful for our environment. It will be helpful for ourselves, not harmful for anybody. This is called good things, according to Buddha's teaching. Anyway, now we have to know that akiriya means good and bad things are determined by people. It's not always true. This is the way they believe. So they also accept that we can do whatever thing we like, to get whatever thing we want. I think you may also have you may also have met somebody, they have that kind of idea. We are free to do whatever thing we like. Yeah, we are free, sure. But if harmful for ourselves, this is useless. If harmful for our environment, is useless. So, okay, the main thing is akiriya means don't think about other people. Don't think about good and bad. You are free to do whatever thing you like. Think of this kind of idea. It will become more selfish, So in Buddha's teaching, as long as it's not very harmful for other living beings, not very harmful for ourselves, we can do it. If something harmful for other people, harmful for ourselves, we should not do it. That is the Buddha's teaching. So akiriya ditti, this kind of wrong view is also a little bit risky for the practitioners or the follower. Now in modern community, we say we have human right, right? Okay, human right is good enough. But if we are using our ability wrongly, it will be very harmful for our future. So all our actions must be useful for our community, for ourselves. This is called good actions, good things to do. Okay, the first thing one is a causeless view. Second one is akiriya, not doing good and bad, that kind of wrong view. Then there's no good and bad things. Then we also have the natika. Natika means because there's no existence, or maybe there's no good, no bad. We can say like no benefit or good and bad actions, or no advantages or no disadvantages. Actually, there are different kinds of natika wrong view, natika ditti. So according to Buddha's teaching, we can find 10 types of natika ditti. The first one is nati dinam. There's no offering. So, okay, that one is it. The first three is a little bit different, right? So the one that neti dinan, there's no offering, there's been no benefit or offering. They also believe that actually, even in Buddha's time, there are some non-Buddhist ascetics. They believe wise people accept and foolish people offer. They have that kind of teaching. So when we have this kind of idea, what about sharing our properties in our family? It's useful. Without sharing, we cannot live in our family. Ideally, we have to serve each other. That's called family. So nati dinam, there's no offering, no benefit or offering, no result or offering, no advantages or offering. When we have this kind of idea, you can imagine it will spoil our community. The nati yitam, there's no alms given. So now, okay, yitam, this is a little bit similar to, right? The sacrifice or something like that. Anyway, nati hudam, there's no sacrifice, no benefit of sacrificing. It depends on how we sacrifice, right? If we are doing good, this is good. The another one is that nati sukata dukatanan kamana palang vipako. There's no fruits or result of good and bad karma. We have that kind of belief, very harmful. So in Buddhism, we believe that we have good actions and also it will produce good results. We have bad actions, it will produce bad results. That is called right view. Now, nati ayang logo, there's no this words. That means all the people, all the living things or non-living things, they are all are fake, unreal. This is also wrong view. There's no brown logo, there's no other words. After death, no more rebirth. So when we have this kind of belief, there are many things we cannot know exactly, right? Okay, for example, future life. Sure, if we are normal people, ordinary people, we cannot know the future. But when we can attain psychic power, we can know the future. We can know the future of other living beings. This beyond our ability. If we can practice very well, we can know it. If we cannot practice well, it's beyond our ability. So now very harmful things. This one, nati mother. There's no mother. That means no benefit of taking care of mother. I think it will be shocking for Indian people, maybe, right? Because I have been to India. I know how they love their family in India. Not only that, actually, everywhere. Because in Myanmar also, live a similar culture like India. As long as they don't get married, they will live together with their parents. This is normal. In India also, it will be the same. Anyway, that means they may think that no gratitude of parents. If we have this kind of perception, it's very, very harmful for our improvement. We have to know people's gratitudes. We have to remember our parents' gratitudes. This is also really very important. Then similarly, nati pita, there's no parent, no father. That means there's no benefit of taking care of father. So this is also harmful, right? So if you are parents, you can imagine how will you feel, that kind of things. I don't have children, that's why okay, I cannot feel anything, right? But I can imagine what will happen to the family. So when we have this kind of wrong view, that means no gratitude of father, no gratitude of mother. If we have this kind of thoughts, it's harmful. It's also wrong view. So we have to remember people's gratitudes, not only parents. This is really, really important. The neti satta apapatika, there are no beings born spontaneously. For example, divine beings were born spontaneously. Then they don't believe that kind of living beings. This is also out of our outer imaginary. We cannot know it, we cannot see it. But from time to time, even in modern community, I think they also like a quote, something like that, quotes, right? They were born simultaneously. There are many different things we can understand. Anyway, this being our imaginary, but it's also real. So we have to accept it. The another one is Nati Loke Samana Brahmana Samagata Samapatipana. There are not in the world any ascetics or Brahmins rightly failing, rightly practicing. So this is also a little bit strange, right? They don't believe there are somebody who can practice rightly, or who can know the truth by his direct knowledge. Also, they will know this very words. They also know other words. If they don't believe that kind of things, then this is also called natikatiti, wrong view. Of course, we also have seeing. Seeing is a believing. There are many things we have never seen, but we have to believe it. For example, Narmada River in India, right? If I have never been to India, then I have never seen Narmada River. If somebody say there's a Narmada River in India, I will say, no, it's not. I have never seen it. So that means not seeing it, if we reject, this is also not truth. That's the proof of Narmada River in India. We can see the map, right? So there are many things, although we have never been, we have never seen it practically, but there's a witness, there's a proof, so we can know. That's why. Okay, Natika Diti means we reject many different things. If we have this kind of wrong view, it will be obstacle for our improvement. So this is called wrong view. So the Buddha or Bodhisattva will never have this kind of wrong view. So you may know the Alara Kalama Udakarama Buddha, the teacher of Bodhisattva, when he was in Uruvela. For the first time, he met them. He had got some instructions from these two teachers. Why did the Buddha go there? Why did Bodhisattva go and see there and meet them? Is it really important? They believe in karma is a result. These two ascetics. They believe karma ownership knowledge. If we are doing good, we will have good results. If we are doing bad, we will get bad result. So the quality of result can be dependent on past karma. The main thing is we have to do good things. This is very important for this very life. But okay, now I have to continue talking about the right view. So when we talk about right view, according to Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta or according to Mahasatipatthana Sutta, it will be a little bit similar. So right view means knowledge with regards to suffering, dukkha sajja, and the knowledge with regards to the origin of suffering, samudaya sajja, the knowledge with regard to the cessations of suffering, nirodha sajja, and the knowledge together with regard to the way leading to the path leading to the cessations of suffering. Magga Satya, the Eightfold Path. This is called right view. So here we have a few different things. We have to know the noble truth of suffering. We call parinya, right? We have to know it. We have to understand it. So dukkha satya, the noble truth of suffering is to be known. As long as we can know that truth, then we're going to have a right view. What about what is it called really called dukkha satya? Again, we have to know that one again. And you have to know the Four Noble Truths, right? So in the dukkha satya, it mentions aging is also suffering. So the river is also suffering. Aging is also suffering. Then death is also suffering. Separation with beloved one is also suffering. Associating with unloved one is also suffering. It mentions different types of suffering. But they are, it mentioned in brief, the five clinging aggregates are the noble truth of suffering. We have to know that one first. So dukkha, we have many different levels of dukkha, many different types of dukkha. Although we say we have to know dukkha satya, we have to know the five clinging aggregates, it's very easy to say, right? It's very easy to say. But to understand it better, we need time. So we have different types of suffering. In our life, when we talk about suffering, we also like parichana dukkha. That means invisible suffering. Or we can also say another way, the like unknowable suffering. We can say like untouchable suffering, something like that. Unknowable, we should say unknowable suffering, which means we cannot see it easily. Okay. So anyway, let me, for example, like a parichana dukkha means, for example, like a toothache, headache, earache, heat in the body caused by lust or anger. Right? We cannot see it, but when we ask somebody, when they say, we can know. Today we cannot see, right? We're gonna feel other people's suffering. Similarly, headache, we cannot know they are suffering. When we ask, they can answer, that we can understand. This is called parichana dukkha. So aparichana dukkha is also when we are tortured by somebody, it becomes very clear, very obvious, we have to suffer. Injury, right, in the body is aparichana, very clear, visible. We can see it. Broken hands, broken legs, broken nose, broken teeth. Then we can know this is suffering. It's really very, very clear suffering. So not only that, then we also have to know another suffering. This is called sankhara dukkha. Sankhara means the formations, right? Then, for example, we may have the equanimized feeling, right? This is of course also called. Then we have many other formations in three realms, in the karma realms, rupa realms, we have the immaterial realms, the material realms. Then because this is also novel truth of suffering. Then in our daily life, we also have to encounter another suffering. Viparinama dukkha. Viparinama means reverse or changeable suffering. For example, happiness. Now we have happiness. When the condition changes, it will change to suffering. Okay, now we will go to the picnic. In the picnic, two of our friends were quarrel. All the happiness were gone, will be gone, no more. all the happiness has gone. Only suffering, sorrow. Happiness can change to unhappiness anytime. This is called Viparinama Dukkha. So another one is dukkha, real suffering. This means mental suffering, bodily suffering. We have a lot of suffering. Sorry. We have a lot of suffering. So, okay, the main thing is we have to know the noble truth of suffering. So one more thing here. Many people talk about anicca, dukkha, anatta. Right? It's very easy. They say very easily. But in reality, this anicca, dukkha, anatta is not that easy and simple, because we have to know the five aggregates first. If we can know the five aggregates, then we can know anicca, dukkha, anatta. Impermanence, suffering, non-self. So when we are going to talk about right view, now here we also have to know dukkha satya. Right? We have to know dukkha satya. We have to know it. Is definitely we have to do it. After that, we have to uproot samudaya satya, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. So I think you may have known the samudaya satya. Sometimes they were translated as attachment or craving or something like that. In reality, there are many different types of samudaya, many different types of the origin of suffering. For example, all the defilements can be considered as the origin of suffering. Not only that, all the good karmas and bad karma also can be the origin of suffering. Without karma, we cannot be reborn anymore. For arhats, they have only functional consciousness, no kusala, no wholesome or unwholesome. That's why they don't have new karma, they cannot be reborn in new life. No more defilements. Anyway, so we also have to know the noble truth of suffering. We have to uproot or overcome or eradicate the origin of suffering. The first we have to know. So here, when we talk about right view, right understanding, samadhi, all the things are related to the Four Noble Truths. Without Four Noble Truths, it's impossible. So we have to know five clinging aggregates. We have to know the origin of five clinging aggregates. We also have to know the cessations of five aggregates. We also have to know the Noble Eightfold Path are the leading to the cessation of suffering, cessation of five clinging aggregates. If we know like this is called right view. Then what about right thoughts? I think today right thought will be the last part, maybe, right? Because we have only 1 hour talk, right? Like you may have many questions. How long have you been giving Dhamma talk? Okay. So now one is the right thoughts. When we talk about right thoughts, now we also have to know what's really called right thoughts. We also have to know the wrong thoughts. So first of all, we have thoughts of sensuality. They're kind of wrong thoughts. So from time to time, we can have thoughts of sensuality. Thoughts of sensuality does not mean only thinking about five sensual pleasure, right? It's not like that. It also can be. For example, now when you travel here and there, homesick. You may remember your family, your food, your country, your culture. This is also called kama vitaka, thoughts of sensuality. Not only that, if we have a lot of daydreaming about liberation, meditating, not focus on the main objects, just think about liberation, right? This is also imaginary. Just imagination, not practicing properly. This is also called thoughts. It's cost, right? For liberation. Only that imagination. Anyway, so thoughts of sensuality means or the thoughts thinking about five sensual pleasures, think about relatives, think about the village, town, city, or think about liberations, think about this and that, many other things. Or what accepting practicing, right? Then we have another one is a Vyabhara Vitaka, thoughts of ill will. So this is actually Vyabhara. No, we don't have good will, right? This means ill will mean we don't have good will. We don't have good desire. We don't wish to help other people. That is called ill will. We just think about to disturb other people. Then another one is thoughts of cruelty, Hinsa Vitaka, to kill, to torture other people, other living beings. If we think about to torture, think about if we think something or something, think about something, to torture, to kill, to assassinate, whatever things. This is called thoughts of cruelty. So contrary to all these three, we have right thoughts. Right thoughts mean thoughts of renunciation. So renunciations have many, many different meanings. Briefly, we have to give up sensual pleasure. This is also called renunciation. So if we can take first jhana, because of practice, taking meditation, this is also called with nikama in Pali, renunciation. So if we can ordain as a bhikkhu or siyali or samanera, this is also called thoughts of renunciation. Not only that, if we can take nirvana, this is renunciation, very clear. So the first thing is we must not have any attachment to anything. If we don't have attachment, we have renunciation. If we have many attachments, we are very far from renunciation. Next one is thoughts of goodwill, abhyapada. So in this case, if we say goodwill, we got to say metta, right? Metta, loving kindness to our living beings. So if we have loving kindness, we can help many people. That's also right thought. One more thing, if we say metta in Pali, we have to understand metta is like loving all the living beings equally. No partiality. Sometimes we love somebody, we hate another people. Metta is not like that. We have to love all the living beings in this world, in this universe, equally. If we can love equally, this is really called metta. Okay, the main thing is, metta is the opposite of thoughts of ill will. When we have metta, love and kindness, we will not have ill will. We will not think ill of other people. And the last one is thoughts of non-cruelty, compassion. When we see some suffering living being, we must have compassion. If we don't have compassion, that is, we are cruel, right? So we must have compassion to our living beings. Oh, this is actually called divine abiding, sublime abiding. When we have loving kindness, when we have compassion, that is the sublime abiding or divine abiding. Our mind is equal to divine beings. Our mind is sublime, higher than all other minds. That means all other ordinary minds. So it's also important for us to have this kind of minds. So this is called right thoughts. Thoughts of renunciations, thoughts of non-cruelty, thoughts of goodwill, thoughts of non-cruelty. This is called right thoughts. So although we have Noble Eightfold Paths, today I cannot explain all the Noble Eightfold Paths, right? I just have to explain only two, right view and right thoughts. In reality, there are many things to explain according to Abhidhamma, but it will be too long and too much in detail. Okay, now I will stop here, right? If necessary, or maybe if I'm free, there will be part 2, part 3 maybe, right? So today we have already finished the part 4, wisdom. 3 training, the first part is Samadhi, Samasankappa for wisdom training. So all the wisdom training come from concentrations. Without concentrations, we cannot practice wisdom training. Concentration also come from morality. So we have to know morality. So if I have opportunity, then I will continue next week, or maybe according to the situation you have or I have. There will be next part, second part, right? About morality. Anyway, so today, among the right path, we have already started the training of wisdom, right view or right thought. Two things, right? Right view or right understanding, or was the right thought. So everything's included. So these 3 are covered by wisdom trainings. For that, we have to do concentrations and morality. So we have to practice 3 trainings for right path. May you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and as a result of it, may you all be able to realize the end of suffering, the final cessation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Anything? Okay, anything?
कुणाला प्रश्न आहेत का?
No more question?
I think no question, Bante.
Okay, okay.
कोणाला प्रश्न आहेत का? Bante, I ask question. Bante, if someone have a Garuka karma or habitual karma in the past life, like a killing or secularism in Sangha, like that, and he doing karma in this life, even though that Garuka karma also weaken.
Okay, so that means in the past karma, in the past life, right?
Yes, Bante.
So if he has committed Guru karma like this in the past, the next life he may be reborn in the hell, right? This is very, very, very sure.
Yeah.
So after releasing from the hell, if we can change his habits, it's possible to overcome all these things.
Yes.
Okay, next one.
Yes. So it means those who have the human birth right now, they don't have Garuka karma in the past life.
Sure. We can have Guru karma in the past.
We have.
We can have sure. In the samsara, we have done all the mistakes.
Yeah.
In the samsara, we have made all the mistakes.
Yeah.
But we haven't done many wholesome. This is the only one thing we have to know.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So it means Garuka karma cannot be weakened.
Cannot be?
Cannot be weakened.
We can. Because, okay, in the samsara, we have done all the wrong things,
Yeah.
Later, when we change our habits, habits gradually, we become mature. In the samsara, right? Gradually we become mature and mature. If we train again and again, everything will become weaker and weaker. For example, Buddha. Okay, you may know Venerable Mahamoggallana.
Yes, Bante.
He's trying to kill his parents. He's trying to kill his parents, right? You know already that one.
Yes.
But when he didn't have the ship, no more, right?
Yes, Bante.
No more Guru karma. So this is changeable.
Yes.
In the past, we have done, but in the present, we have to do goods. It's changeable. Okay.
Yes, Bante. Okay. Sadhu,
Yeah.
sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bante, for coming. So should we take a part 2 of this series?
Okay.
Okay, Bante.
Part 2. Okay. What time? Okay, we have to fix the time again, right?
Yeah, today only we completed right thought.
Yeah. Right thought.
So
Yeah. Right view and right thought. Yeah.
yes. So another we can take in another Dhamma talk.
Yeah. Possible.
Okay, Bhante.
Huh?
Okay.
Because I'm okay. Saturday I'm not free.
Okay, another day free.
Right.
Okay.
Another one is okay. Tomorrow is Friday, Thursday, right?
Yes.
Thursday evening I'm not free. Saturday evening I'm not free. Then
Okay.
sometime Sunday also I'm not free. But coming Sunday is okay.
Okay, Bhante. Okay. I will text you Bhante.
Okay. Sorry.
Bhante.